Your Honor, I renew my objection to this evidence and ask that it be not submitted in the record and not viewed and not given any weight by this court.
Well, first of all, I'm going to ask Ms. Arango if she has any additional basic foundational questions regarding the CD, DVD, whichever it is. Still not clear to me after having heard and seen it. But in any event, anything further, Ms. Arango?
No, Your Honor, I believe the video has been admitted. So
all right, it is admitted. The motion to strike is over as well.
So, Officer, I'm sorry, Deputy Bindley. So her number is recording in open court. Now that we've all heard it, did you recognize the voice of the individual in the vehicle?
Yes.
And did that voice belong to the defendant?
Yes.
And I just have a question just for clarification. When there was a point in the video where there was a distinctive ringing that sounded to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, like the noise the car makes when the seatbelt's not attached. Is that correct? Did you hear that noise? Tell me if you didn't.
And just from personal experience of owning a Toyota, it's when you leave the keys in the ignition. That's the noise that I heard.
Okay. So the vehicle could have been off at the time that the keys were in the ignition, or do you know?
I don't know for sure of which position. The motor was not on. Whether or not the keys were in the on position, the start position, the accessory position, I don't know.
Okay.
But the keys were still in the ignition.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me. So, you were asked earlier about where the defendant's seatbelt, in fact, that where it was fastened, which was on his right hip, correct?
Right.
Okay. So, at the point where he's reaching for the seatbelt, and it was asked with regard to, he was reaching for the seatbelt, he was reaching for a gun. What could you observe during that time, as far as what he was reaching for?
I don't know what he was reaching for. As the door was opened, Officer Atkins pointed out there was a magazine attached to his belt, which I put two and two together and figured, well, if he's got a magazine, there's probably a gun somewhere.
Okay. And why are you concerned about that?
I don't want to get shot.
And so soon after that, you saw that there was, in fact, a gun?
Yes, when Mr. leaned forward, I was able to see the magazine well, and as I was reaching for a seatbelt, I was able to touch what I know to be what feels like a magazine well in a handgun.
You were asked also, after you were asked by the defense counsel about the defendant rolling the window down to 3 inches. At that point, when he did that, did you determine that he had complied with the order to roll his window down?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
When you told him to roll his window down, and he didn't, at some point your testimony is he rolled it down about 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Was that compliance with your order?
Yeah, I told him to roll the window down, and he did roll the window down somewhat. It's not what I'm used to at a DUI checkpoint.
Okay. And so did you ask him to roll it down more than that?
Yes.
And why did you do that?
It just enhances the ability for me to pick up any of the, the smell or any kind of glare I would get with the window up. Maybe I wouldn't get it with the window down, so it also helps my vision into the vehicle.
Okay. And why is your vision into the vehicle important?
To check for, under plain view, be able to see if I was able to see anything, any guns, drugs, alcohol, anything.
I have nothing further.
You understand now that the firearm that Mr. had on his person was fully legal, correct?
Yes.
And at the time that you discovering that he had a gun, a firearm with him, there were 10 officers surrounding the vehicle. Did all of those have guns also?
Objection, relevant?
Overruled.
Did all the officers have guns? Yes.
And anyone sitting in a vehicle with a firearm, knowing that there are 10 officers around him with firearms, and the very fear that you just expressed of persons with guns, would he worry about his own safety?
Your Honor, I believe that calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Nothing further.
Question. Did any of the officers pull their guns during the encounter?
I can say for certainty that Officer Atkins and I did not. Officer Deal, I don't believe, did, just because of our proximity to Mr. Had it turned into a deadly force encounter, we'd be worried about things like crossfire, other debris inside the vehicle. You know, once a gun goes off, you can't account really for where anything goes. So I think at least I can testify that I determined it was safer to keep my gun holstered and try to control his gun instead.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
Nothing further.
The second officer, I assume he's to remain.
Yes, Your Honor. And I apologize. Could I have a brief recess? I have child care issues.
All right, we'll be recessed.
Thank you.
Counsel, back on the record that for the reflection on the clock, is it
Quarter to 5.
Yeah.
Quarter to, yes.
I have a mandatory appointment at 6 o'clock, for which I will have to leave at least bare minimum 15 minutes early, so we have about another hour.
Well, Your Honor, I was going to say, I do have sympathy and understanding that she has child care problems, and I could do it tomorrow if that, are you able to do it?
No, but I'm thinking more along the lines of getting it done.
Oh.
That's what
my hope.
attorneys always think, and it usually doesn't happen.
Right, no.
I mean, I don't want to be limited.
We can go for another hour roughly, certainly no more, and accomplish whatever we can accomplish. I doubt seriously, based on remaining prosecution witness, let alone anything defense may decide to present, if anything, that we're going to finish today. But in any event, for the present, we're in recess.